OHMATHGAD everyone, welcome to today's video in which we're going to be learning a lot. Before we continue with the video, guys, it's very helpful for the OHMATHGAD community, for the channel in general to grow, if you hit that like and that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell. That way every single time OHMATHGAD uploads a new video, you are watching it first. Okay, guys, let's begin.
OHMATHGAD.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's video in which we're gonna be tackling problems by representing changes using integers. So let's get started. In this video we're going to be learning some keywords that we can use to associate positive and negative numbers by using the number line. What are those keywords? So as you can see, there are some keywords like decrease and increase, which are commonly associated with positive and negative numbers. Whenever something decreases in value, we're usually going to represent it by a negative number. When something increases in value, it's going to be represented with a positive number. The same thing goes for losing and spending. For example, someone losing weight, that is going to be represented by a negative number. And someone spending money is also going to be represented by a negative number. The opposite is for gaining, earning, or raising. Money, temperature, it's going to be associated with a positive number. As you remember from working with the number line, the movements whenever we have a positive or a negative number are to the left or to the right, depending, of course, whether or not the number line you're working with is vertical or horizontal. So if the number line you're working with is vertical, you have the positive numbers and the negative numbers. Whenever we have an increase or a gain or an earning or a raise in money or temperature, we're going to be moving up the number line. But whenever we have a decrease or a lose or we're spending, and it's mentioned in the problem, the movement is going to be down towards the negative numbers. So it's pretty useful to remember these key words in order to express those movements in the number line. What about if the number line is horizontal? What do we do now? So as you remember, positive numbers are to the right and negative numbers are to the left. That means that whenever we increase our value or something increases or gains money, we are going to move to the right. And whenever that same thing loses value, we're going to be moving towards the negative numbers to the left. So again, positive numbers to the right or up, and negative numbers to the left or down. Now we're going to see not one, but two problems in which we can actually see what I mean by these keywords. Let's tackle this challenge. So the problem here says, Dana measures the temperature in Panama City. In the morning at 6 a.m., the temperature was 29 degrees Celsius. So that's our first reading. At 6 a.m., the temperature was 29 degrees Celsius. By noon, the temperature had raised 3 degrees Celsius. At 7 p.m., the temperature had gone down to 27 degrees Celsius. So we have two readings. By noon, so at 12, the temperature had raised by 3 degrees Celsius. And at 7 p.m., so by the end of the day, the temperature had gone down to 27 degrees Celsius. What integer represents the temperature change from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.? Okay, so the first thing we can see is that the initial temperature was 29 degrees Celsius. And when the problem says that it had raised by 3 degrees Celsius, it's very important that we remember that raise in temperature is going to be associated with a positive. So that means we're going to be moving 3 steps to the right. 1, 2, 3. So from 29 to 30 to 31 to 32. And that is going to be the temperature at noon, 32 degrees Celsius. Now it also says that the final temperature Dana got was that at 7 p.m. the final temperature was 27 degrees Celsius. Meaning that Dana found out that the temperature went down to 27. So it had gone down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees Celsius. So because the movement was to the left 5 degrees Celsius, that means that that is associated with a negative number. Meanwhile, the first one was associated with a positive number. What changes were done in the temperature? So the first one was a positive 3 degrees Celsius, and then we had a negative 5 degrees Celsius in the second half of the day. So the net difference here is minus 2 degrees Celsius, explaining why the integer that represents the temperature change from 7 a.m. to from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. is actually 1, 2 degrees Celsius to the left. So as we can see, we can use the number line in order to solve this problem. Or we can also just subtract the two changes and we're gonna get our result. So minus 2 degrees Celsius or 2 degrees Celsius to the left is going to be the integer that represents that change. So the next problem says, Laila has $50 in her wallet. She spends $5 on snacks and $10 on the new Black Panther movie ticket. What integer represents the change in the amount of money Laila has in her wallet? How much money does she have left? So in this problem, Laila has an initial amount of $50. She spends $5 on snacks, so we're going to be subtracting that amount of money. And she also spends $10 on the new Black Panther movie ticket. What integer represents the change in the amount of money in Laila's wallet? How much money does she have left? So the first thing you have to remember is that spending is associated with a negative number. That is why we have two negatives here, minus $5 and minus $10. When they're asking us what integer represents the change in the amount of money in Laila's wallet, it's usually better if we write it down in the number line. So the amount of money Laila has is initially $50. Then she spends $5. So we're going to move to the left in the number line, meaning she was left with 45 after buying the snacks. After buying the ticket, she spends another $10. So again, moving to the left, because it's a negative number, she's going to be left with $35. When we're being asked what integer represents the change in the amount of money in Laila's wallet, we have to see the initial amount of money Laila had and the last register in our number line, which is going to be the same as the amount of money that Laila has left. So if we count from 50 to 35, we're going to have a change in minus $15. In order to get those $15, we can do two things. We can count the amount of spaces between 35 or 50, or we can just simply add minus 5 and minus 10, and it's going to give us the same answer. So for the first answer, what is the integer that represents the change in the amount of money Laila has in her wallet? It would be minus $15. And then how much money does she have left is the initial minus the change, so that means it's going to be $35. So guys, this is why it's pretty useful to identify those keywords or key expressions that let you know if a change is going to be represented by a negative number or a positive number. Also, as you can see in the video, it's very, very useful because you also use the number line in order to understand whether a change is going to be to the left or to the right and how a change is being represented. Guys, remember, you can always go back and rewatch the video as many times as you want if you didn't understand something, and I'll see you guys on the next one. So bye everyone.
Check out these other videos to improve your math skills, and make sure you click that subscribe button to make the community grow. Follow OHMATHGAD in its social media accounts, drop a like, a comment below, and see you on the next one. Bye!